Welcome everyone to the Creative Circle special Halloween event called Bhutia Buddies. Uh, it is also coinciding with our sixth edition of our community meet, which we hold every month. And this time, since it's Halloween, and in keeping up with the occasion, we have decided to dress up really funkily and really scarily, as you can see, especially Lee and Shalini. They're looking really, really spooky. But we have all made some effort to dress spookily, and the idea is to narrate spooky tales and to have conversations and a lot of fun. So, Chitra, you want to add something?
Yeah, we'll be having narrations that had been submitted throughout the Halloween week, and we'll also be having a fun quiz in the middle of it. So stay tuned till the end of the event. So yeah, so who wants to go first with the narration?
Okay. No one wants to go first apparently, so I'll just put someone in the door. Shalini, good.
Hello, Shalini. Introduce yourself, please.
Introduce yourself and go ahead with your tale.
Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Thirsty? I know I am. Okay. So with that, my short story is titled Rendezvous, and I'll just start. Someone was watching him. Namit could feel it, and it was both annoying and alarming. He had returned home after 5 years, and today was supposed to be the happiest day of his life. By the time Namit devoted the rickshaw in front of the old Haveli, millions of raindrops had started rattling against the ground. 5 years ago, it was a similar rainy evening when he had proposed to Shama. She had shyly refused him, and he had left their town, heartbroken. Today, he got a message from her, asking him to meet her at her old house. He was happy. You haven't aged a day. He spoke mesmerizingly as Shama invited him inside. You are soaking wet. Why don't you go to my bedroom and change? Your Abu won't mind. No one lives here anymore. With downcast eyes, she replied and walked away. The chiming of her anklets reminded Namit of how smitten he still was of her beauty. Consumed by a longing that only Shama could satiate, Namit freshened up. Only then did he catch sight of the garlanded picture of Shama in the frame hanging on the wall. All sensations troubling him earlier rushed through him again. The anxiety, the fear, and the certainty that something terrible was about to happen. He could hear the faint sound of footsteps outside. A trickle of cold sweat dripped from Namit's brow as he bolted the door. It was cold, so he could not blame the weather for his racing heart and sweaty palms. Suddenly, the picture in the frame was replaced by gory images exhibiting how he had forced himself upon Shama 5 years ago. The door opened automatically and Shama stepped inside, making Namit step back towards the frame. After raping me, you had left me for dead. Abu couldn't face the wrath of society, so he killed himself. But I wasn't ready. It seems like forever that I have been waiting for you. Thunder struck while two hands ejected from the frame and pulled Namit inside, subjecting him to the same ghastly treatment as he begged for forgiveness. The end.
Wow, look at that. Yay. Well done, Shalini. That was awesome.
The narration was awesome. A lot of energy, modulations. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to say something. My voice sounds odd. It's not for Halloween that I'm modifying my voice. I'm carrying a bad cold. So I'm really under the weather and my voice has become... Okay, so who's going to go next? Okay, everyone, if you, after a story, if you want to say something about the story, comment, appreciate, whatever, please unmute yourself and do it, because this is going on YouTube and the chat box doesn't come on YouTube. So it's better that you know, verbalize your comments.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the narration. Like you said, there was like that rise in tension and the voice got louder and it really kind of just drags you into the story. So yes, thank you for sharing that.
Hi, Aksheeya.
Hi.
Hi, Preeti. That's Preeti, if I'm not wrong.
Is that Preeti? Really? That's Preeti?
If I'm not wrong, that's Preeti.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so who's gonna go next? Sambit.
For a while, I thought it's a potted plant with a curtain, but it's Preeti. Okay,
Okay,
Sambit.
so, yeah. Hey, hi everyone on this spooky night. So I'm Sambit, the author of the book The Last War and the Stories. I usually write science fiction stories, but I just couldn't resist writing a horror one too. So here I go. And by the way, you all are invited to the mall. So here goes the story, the mall. Vrinda disliked the gloomy mall while walking along with her mother amidst the silently moving crowd. She could see everyone dressed up with dreadful looking faces and scary costumes. She wasn't too happy looking at everyone moving around like zombies, as if they had resurrected fresh from the graveyard, adjoining the mall. The abominable stare of those passing by scared her even more. They seemed to have taken up the Halloween theme too seriously, she thought. She realized they were heading for the rear exit door, pointing to the graveyard. And that's when she was startled as she looked at her mother, who too had turned into a zombie. There was no way she could free her hand, despite of all her struggles. The next evening, she was at peace with her broken neck and a twisted arm, thirsting for the blood of unsuspecting humans invited into the mall. That's it. Thank you.
I'm not going shopping after this. Very good. Zombie fever. That was great, Sambit. Sambit has been
Thank you.
possessed since morning. I mean, he's been bitten by the Halloween bug, and he.
Yeah.
I guess he was getting into the mood.
He was
Oh
getting
my
into the
gosh.
mood.
Who was that? I couldn't recognize.
Me.
Hi, Preeti. Hi, Preeti.
Okay.
Yes.
Preeti
Hi,
is
hi,
like
Preeti. You
God.
look good. Preeti looks very funny.
You like this
Wha-
cute Casper.
Why do I feel like Chandrayan is
Preeti.
itching to say something?
Please, Chandrayan, go ahead.
His face is like,
Preeti,
okay, I want to say
Preeti,
something.
you look funny. Not
Thank you, Usha.
scary. Not
That's
scary. Not scary.
He looks like a cute version of Casper.
Yeah.
Look at Suman now. She's the
with
wheel
parda,
bride.
with the white parda. With her
I'm getting
white
inspired by Preeti.
Nam, you want to go next?
Oh, yeah, I don't mind.
Lots of color.
I'm obsessed with Preeti's outfit. It's so good. It's giving me like widow, and also like you said, somebody said Casper the ghost, and so many things, and like the cheshma. It's amazing. It's such a good look.
Yeah, I'm in the family. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Yeah, and the story that we just heard as well, like I always think zombies are such a good horror staple. And to bring it into a mall, I think kind of raises some of the pandemic anxieties that we've developed. So I thought that was really nice. It was really good.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Can I defer my turn? I'm still really nervous. So can somebody else go and then I'll narrate?
Who wants to go next? Lee,
Who
Bharat?
wants to go next?
Lee.
Neeraj. Neeraj.
Okay, so who is it? Lee, are you picking it up?
Neeraj.
Okay. Okay, so for the story, I'll be back to a normal human being.
Such a saaf suthra banda. Look at him.
Okay. Okay. Hi. Hello, everybody. I have written something horror for the first time. So here it goes. Hey, wait. She called out to him as he stood at the edge of the cliff, ready to jump. Don't you stop me, he snapped. Oh, I can't, even if I try, she said, and she passed her hand through his body. His heart stopped instantly. The end.
Love that. Amazing.
I swear. Good.
The end already?
Narration skills.
Yeah, I know. I did all the when her hand reached his heart.
Neeraj, that limit was 150 words, not 15 words.
Yeah, but it takes amazing skills to write a horror story in 15 words.
Yes.
Exactly.
It felt like there was a phenomenon, I think a couple of years or 3 years back, if I'm not wrong, about 2-line horror stories. They
Yeah.
just came out, a
Yeah.
lot of them at the same time. They were amazing. I remember I was with a friend in his house and we were reading that, and he's like, and I was, I think, supposed to go and sleep in another room, and he didn't let me.
I think I have it, Niladri. I'll share it in the group. Sometimes I have a copy of it.
Yeah.
There's 2-liner horror stories.
2-line horror stories. It was amazing. Okay, then who wants to go next? Lee.
Do you have to remove your costume? I mean, I don't. Can you?
I don't know.
I don't think he's removing anything.
Microphone check. Am I heard?
Yes.
Yes. So
I am Dr. Alexander, Lee's alter ego. Make no mistake about it, I'm the one who writes. My tale this evening is called The Hospital. Yes, the doctor hissed from behind me. Consume her! I couldn't see him. He had strapped me to the gurney and my vision was limited. I could see the water-stained tiles of the operating theater, pale green, cracked, conjoined by moldy grout that affixed into the walls. A tarnished examination lamp swung from the ceiling. It was the only illumination in the room. It swayed back and forth by a tattered black cord over my bare midriff and legs that were splayed and bound in stirrups. There were 2 patients from the lower wards, the cast-offs, the forgotten. Their eyes were sewn shut and their lips cut away, exposing rotten teeth as they gnashed and tore at the flesh of my inner thighs. They ate, gaunt cheeks slick with my blood, their hair matted with gore. And I wondered, how could I have ever agreed to this? Thank you. Sleep well.
holy shit.
10 out of 10 for the costume, 10 out of 10 for narration.
Lee, I felt like a movie in front of me. It was so well narrated. Beautiful.
It was so intense, and then I love that you ended it by saying thank you, sleep well. That's very sweet. Thank you. We will try to sleep well. It was so intense and visceral.
Very scary look.
Very visually.
Very scary look.
Yeah, it was very
Lee,
visual,
Lee,
very visceral.
Lee.
Yes.
Yeah, and not very good for people who think visually.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do.
Okay, Nam goes next, and then we have a short quiz.
Okay, hang on, let me just.
Nam.
Okay, I'm Nam, and I always am really bad at introducing myself, so here's my story. The thing wore her mother's face. It followed her. She watched it in her periphery. It sat next to her until she gripped her purse and gasped out an order to stop the car. She scrambled up long, empty escalators to the bright metro station above. She sat in a crowded carriage. In the window, she saw the thing wearing her mother's face. She closed her eyes. Something brushed her and she jumped, heart pounding. A man grinned at her. The thing, for a moment she couldn't see it, almost worth being alone with men. She trotted to her house under broken streetlights, the dark prickling her back. The key shook. She locked the door. In her periphery. Slowly, she palmed a knife. She would only get one chance to stick it in. In the dark, she waited. It would be easy. After all, the thing wore her mother's face. And that's it. Thank you.
The last line.
I like
My
that twist.
goodness. Oh,
I
my.
like that twist.
The punchline, yeah.
What a twist at the end.
Like that twist.
I was especially impressed by the fact that the horror story began in the second word itself. The moment she says the thing, I know that it is going to be scary.
Thank you.
That's a story in itself. A horror.
Nam.
So I'm going to have a short quiz.
Just a minute, Chitra. Lee is saying something.
Nam. Am I heard?
Yep.
I enjoy your story. I like the things that live just outside of our vision. I also like your skull.
Thank you, Dr. Alexander. The skull's name is Agamemnon. I've had him for 10 years. Thank you.
Okay, then let's have a short
Oh,
quiz.
by the way, Nam is a doctor, so there is a very high chance that the skull is of a real human being.
Where have you procured it?
Oh yeah, the skull is definitely real. It's a real skull.
Oh my god, I was joking.
No, it's a real skull. Really?
I assume nothing less.
I'm looking at that. I'm looking at it.
Well, yeah, he loves horror stories too. He's my buddy. He's been helping me out with studies and everything else for a long time now.
I just hope the owner of the skull is not with me right now.
What? I'm sorry?
I just hope the owner of the skull is not with you right now, around you.
Yeah, that's why I named him. I was so paranoid. I was like, I don't want somebody thinking I'm disrespectful.
Okay, round one, easy round. You can tap, type in the chat box. Okay, did Halloween originate from pre-Christian Celtic festival? Okay, yes. Can you hear me? I have to be louder, right? You can't hear me at all?
Louder.
Yeah. So the answer is yes. It traces its roots from Samhain, loosely translated means summer's end in Gaelic, celebrated around November 1. True or false? True or false?
Lower the sound a bit. Lower the sound. Lower the sound.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yeah, just turn it off.
Okay, wait. Okay, so true or false? Turnips were originally used to carve jack-o'-lanterns. Anyone in the chat box?
Wild guess. False.
Oh, seriously?
It's true.
Oh dang! I'm 0 for 2.
It's true.
Okay,
I know
Preeti.
nothing about Halloween.
Yeah.
Preeti got it. Okay, Lee got it. Preeti got it. Who else?
No, Lee's cancelled out. Lee's answer came after you showed the answer.
Yeah.
Lee. Not gonna work.
This is the average round. Who knows the answer to this? Which magician and entertainer died during Halloween in 1926? Yes, Aksheeya. Yee. Preeti and Aksheeya got it right. Yep.
I'm just guessing. I have no clue about Halloween.
Fill in the blanks. This is a medieval practice in England where people ask for soul cakes from house to house during Halloween. It's believed to be the origin of the trick or treat tradition. Answers? What? True. Nam says
It is true.
no. Okay, it's called souling.
Interesting.
Yep. This is a difficult round.
The first one itself was difficult for me.
Name. I think Lee is going to get this right because he wrote a story, something about Diane in an anthology, so he knows this. Name at least 3 ingredients stolen by the second witch to make witch's brew in Shakespeare's Macbeth. Tongue of the new, eye of new, tail of dog. Okay, tail of dog, blood. Okay. Any more answers? Okay, bats, blood, tail of dog, eye of newt. Okay, that's bats. Swings, lizard leg. Okay, let's see. Eye of newt, toe of frog, tongue of dog. That's not dog's leg, that's tongue of dog, lizard's leg, wool of bat. So all 3 witches, I remember this, all 3 witches, they go double, toil and trouble, fire, burn and call. Okay. Okay, this is fun. I really want to do this sometime. Okay. According to an old tradition, what will you see at midnight if you turn your clothes inside out and walk backwards on Halloween night?
Ghost.
Lee Nolan.
Really? No. Okay, let's
Something spooky, definitely.
You will see PB flower. You will see a witch.
That's fine. That's fine.
Who would be your Halloween date type? Okay, you can just let us know who would be your ideal Halloween date and wishing you a happy Halloween. Who's going to be a
Frankenstein.
Stephen King.
Who?
I would rather stay at home.
That's not cool. No. Lady Macbeth. Aksheeya. Yeah. Mary Shelley, Wicked Witch of the West. Shalini, who would be your Halloween date? Your husband would be your Halloween date, Preeti?
Yeah. Come, whatever. I'll get scared otherwise.
Okay.
Say your prayers before going.
Carmela and Dracula's right, all of them. Srinivas says Stephen King. What about you, Niladri?
Ocean.
Really? No. Okay, for people who don't know Kushan is a
Usha is my friend and he's into everything occult and horror. He couldn't be here today because of work, but yeah, he'd be a good person to actually hang out with in Halloween. Do all spooky kind of stuff.
Niladri, that was a very smart answer, by the way.
Hello.
You know what I mean.
Hi, Sanjay, Preeti. Hi. Hi, Sanjay. Hi.
Hi.
That's Sanjay.
Finally get to meet Preeti's Halloween date.
Yes. Yes.
What?
Halloween date.
Halloween day.
Oh,
I'll get no
Preeti.
one else, you know.
Preeti, was that your son?
No. Yes.
That was your son?
No, that's my husband.
Oh, I can't see anything out of this mask. That's a shame because I love children. I can't eat I can't eat a whole one, but I do love them.
No, I don't have it.
Okay, then after that rather exciting quiz session, who wants to go? Preeti is back with her. Okay, who wants to go next?
And the aviator has gone inside now. No aviator at all.
You want to
I
go
will
next,
try.
Usha? Hi.
Hi, yeah, hi.
Hi, you want to go next?
It's not scary, but still I'm reading out.
Okay.
I'm Usha from Delhi. The micro tale goes like this. Sudden scattering of a window pane broke up her sleep. She opened her eyes, the nightmare. The window curtain was lifting up and down. To her declining strength, a sight of freaky sleuth like shadow on the open window front. It took her breath. The body turned like a still. Heartbeat pumped faster. She tried hard to raise the voice, but couldn't. Her thought pondered on her father's featuring bloodsucker Dracula to his friend 2 weeks ago, which she had a chance to overhear from adjacent room. A deadly spirit could enter into living bedroom at night and could turn into weird disguise to alarm the human body. The targeted body could fall half dead and then suck the blood and hunt for another one. She closed her eyes. In the dark, the fume of beast was visible. Two red horns, reddish eyes, zigzag teeth with two long, sharp tooth either side, claws, bat-like wings. Fortunately, sleep overcast her. In the morning, she woke up. The bed was wet. She was only 14 years old then. The story ends. Tale ends.
Okay. The setting and everything. Wow. It starts. And then thank you, Usha, for that awesome narration.
Yeah, it was like that.
Back on my head. I got so scared.
You have scared?
Yeah.
No. Where you have scared?
Who wants to go next?
Aksheeya has a story if she wants to go next.
Aksheeya, yeah.
Yeah, hey. It's not so much, it's not that scary, but I tried. So I stood at the edge of the precipice contemplating the end. The water beckoned to me so sweetly, hiding her razor-sharp teeth. A pale figure emerged out of the depths, adorned in foam an apparition of my deepest desire. I inched closer. She kissed me deep and drew me into the dark waters. She left me gasping for breath. I felt myself sink deeper and deeper still. Black ink filled my senses. And then I rose towards the light.
That was
Amazing.
very sensual.
That was
Like
beautiful and
black
scary.
To me, love is scary. So anything that has to do with romance is terrifying.
Yeah. Very well narrated also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
but like up into the light. It's so good.
True.
I very much enjoyed that. It reminded me desperately of my ex-wife.
Okay,
Lee's gonna take all the prizes today. Talking of prizes, we usually have 2 certificates when we have these narration challenges. One for best narration and one for best story. This time, because it's Halloween and we are eccentric enough to come dressed as spooky people, we are gonna have one more certificate of best dressed. Let's see who wins that.
Okay, Suman, you'd like to go next? Suman is looking so pretty today.
Oh, that was not the intent. I should be looking scary, but
No, you're
but
not
that's
too
okay.
scary. Looking nice.
You're looking pretty.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, let me try to be a little scary. And okay, sexy scary. I got that, Lee. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to begin my story now. I don't think I need to give an introduction, but and not that I'm very famous, but this group knows me. So I go by the name PB Flower, although my real name is Suman, and I think everybody here knows my name by now. So the story that I have written today is Awakened Jinn. So here it goes. I was hungry, but there was no food, nothing that I could eat. My weak liver. I checked the pantry, fridge, and also kitchen counter after I got back from school. When I did not find anything, I decided to walk it off. A stroll by the beach helped most of the time. As I walked down the dark street in broad daylight, I wondered why my mama never talked to me these days. Sometimes I would see how happy and grown up my friends were as I walked past their houses. Why were things so different for me? Navigating through the haunting whispers, I reached my favorite place. As I kicked the sand around with my feet playfully, I stubbed my toe on something hard. I wailed in pain and sat down to examine my wound. What's this? There were no cuts, bruises, or swelling. I decided to find out what I had happened to stumble upon. Not long before, I felt something hard beneath my finger. After digging for a few extra seconds, I found something shiny. And yes, it looked just like one of those that you see in movies, a genie bottle. It was so pretty that I could almost not believe I was holding it. I observed it for a few more minutes before doing what the legend says. Rub the outside so that the genie can come out. I was excited, so excited, but I was also a tad bit fearful. And then the myth unfolded the way it ought to. I saw vapors of gas escaping from the mouth of the bottle, but it was not blue or purple, but in fact, a lemon yellow hue. And boy, did it not smell nice. I ignored the startling anomaly and kept rubbing it. But there was no genie, just this random shape floating away as the pungent gas escaped in the air. Suddenly, the beach was empty. Where did everyone go? I almost began panicking when I heard a rumbling voice. But that made me panic faster. I ditched the bottle and ran. Alas, I was not fast enough for that yellow smoke now flowing in front of me. The distance to the nearest street was obscure. I was not sure if I was on the same beach as before anymore. It was all too unfamiliar. Time to face my fear and confront this ghost of the bottle. Who are you? I asked. I am the awakened jinn. But sorry if I woke you up. You can go back to sleep now. But I never sleep. What I meant is that I now know everything about you. But so do I. I don't suppose you have anything new to offer. Please go back. But you see, little boy, our information doesn't match. How so? Tell me about yourself, and then I will compare our understanding to see where it forks. Okay, my name is, the jinn stopped me before the sentence and finished the sentence for me. Yalish, right? I was surprised, yes. And I live, the jinn stopped me again, 2 streets down from this beach in the worn down house with the green door, right? Now I was impressed. Yes, I'm poor, but my mama, the all-knowing jinn, stopped me again, is gone. She cannot take care of you, cook for you, or hold you, right? I was upset and angry. No, you're wrong. My mama is not gone. She's always home, and she loves me. I cinched my eyes and dodged the yellow cloud. Opening my eyes back up, I kept running until I got home. I opened the door and locked it securely without looking out to see if the phantom followed me. First thing I did was run to my mama's room down the hallway. There she was, my beautiful mama, sleeping under the cover. But mama was sad. I remember now, I turned into a yellow mist. Her eyes searched my pale face for life because I was the one that was gone. The end.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. No, that was,
The narration was
and the
so
narration was,
Narration was good, and then the subversion of
Brilliant.
Thank you.
subject matter.
It was a little long, but then sorry.
The narration was excellent.
She completely
Yeah.
brought us
Right.
inside the
I,
story.
I
It was
went
a-
very well.
It was a little long in the same way Antarctica is a little cold.
I cannot expect anything else from you. You hate me. You already told me that you hate me.
Very good. I love the twist at the end.
Thank you, Lee.
okay.
I
Chandrayan.
like the protagonist's voice. You know, you like really did a good job between the childish tone and the genie's voice. Like, I love the voices and everything.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thanks.
Okay,
It was
Chandrayan.
very
next.
unexpected, I think, because I was like expecting something else and then something else, but then something else happened. So that was kind of nice.
Oh yeah,
The
exactly.
subversion, the
I
subversion
was,
was really good.
yeah, even I was expecting something like, I was anticipating everything that usually people will not expect. And then it was so basic, general, and yet so scary. It was really
Thank
cool.
you.
that made it
expected it.
extremely
I expected
unexpected.
it. See,
Okay, guys.
when she said that why are my friends growing and why am I not? That's when I was
Yes.
the kid's dead.
Yes.
Oh.
No, I wrote this story for my daughter because she can't read my book, the trilogy that I have written. She keeps telling me it's very complicated. It has all these words that I don't understand. So I was like, okay, let me write something that you would like, and she really loved that story because it goes well with the Halloween theme and everything. So,
Would it be age
Thanks.
appropriate for her, Suma?
huh?
Would it be age appropriate for her to read your book?
This short story?
No, the books.
No, she can't. She's only 13, so
I
she
guess
can't.
so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone, I had to share something. Again, a coincidence. The last time you told, right? I mean, how our thinking matches. So this time, like the story that you narrated, I had a similar story. I think wrote it a few weeks back. Okay, with a similar kind of ending. It's a longer one. I didn't read it here. I'll share with you after this session. You just go through that.
My God, I think our minds are connected. We vibrate on the same frequency.
Yeah, there's more. We'll chat about it.
Yeah.
Okay, before going to the next narration, Preeti and Usha and there's one more person who have their videos
I think
turned up.
that's Ruth. That's Ruth.
Okay, so can you just turn it on so we can take a snapshot?
Usha, are you there? Hi, Usha. Okay. Ruth, are you there? Lee, that's Ruth, right?
I'm sorry, it's our puppy, you know. He keeps disturbing me, so.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, then everyone, scary mode on. Okay, that is cool.
Okay, so who's gonna go next? Chandrayan. Chandrayan's gonna go next.
Good evening. My name is Chandrayan. I'm a writer, obviously. I'm not a horror writer, but for this one, I did write a horror story. It's called Refuge. So I shall now begin. I look back and she's gone. I keep hurtling forward, sprinting past trees and stepping on shrubs. The crunch of twigs under my feet sound like gunshots. She's been hounding me for days, chasing me, haunting me, trying to end me. I am breathless and fatigued and alone. I need help. Light, a house, wooden. I run toward it, bang on the door. Almost immediately, an old, shriveled man appears and appraises me. Who are you? He asks, his voice mousy. Someone's trying to kill me. I request refuge for the night. He grunts. Come, there's a telephone. You can call for help. I gratefully enter, find 3 children galloping around. None is over 10 years old. I locate the phone, lift the receiver, discover to my confusion and horror, there's no signal. I turn toward the man and recoil in shock. It's her. How? I stutter, urine flowing down my legs. The children have stopped playing and are staring at me through bloodless eyes. You shouldn't have raped my mother, she says icily, brandishing her knife. She steps forward and the children scream. Thank you.
Chandrayan, I know you
So
hate
good.
me,
Chandrayan.
but I really like the way you narrate your stories.
I
I love your voice, the graphs that you have in there. I think I might want you for my audiobook. I'll see.
Okay, I don't hate you, I especially like you. I make fun of the people I especially like.
I know. Boys make fun of girls they like, so I know that.
And what do girls do?
What?
What do girls do?
Kick them.
Girls, they, I don't know. They ignore them, I guess. They don't talk to them.
Wow, you're not ignoring me. You don't like me. I'm sad.
Sorry. I'll ignore you from now on.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
who's next?
I'll go.
Okay, you'll go next.
Okay, Srinivas will go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Srinivas, I think you had 2-3 short ones, right?
Just a one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess I'm audible.
A little
Yes,
louder,
sir.
please.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I guess I'm audible right now.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm Srinivas. I'm currently writing some stories. I wrote this story with something on the mind that the real horrors are in reality rather than fiction. So that's how the idea for this came. So here is the story. He woke up from his sleep. He was lying on the floor with his father on the left and his mother on the right. He was his dad's favorite. And so he woke up, turned left, and put his hand and leg over his father and cuddled him. His dad slightly opened his eyes and whispered, Innada kanna. He only smiled and sniffed. His dad smelled the same always, the smell of stale cigarettes mixed with Old Spice aftershave. Suddenly, his father croaked like a toad. The croaking started deepening. He was wide awake, and his dad's grip tightened on him. He looked at his dad. The right side of his dad's face started swelling and started becoming transparent like a butter paper. It swelled more. It swelled more. As his dad croaked more, blood started dripping from his swelled eyes, mouth, and nose. He woke up, sweating profusely. His heartbeat was high. He was lying on the floor with his father on the bed to his left. He stood up and looked at his father. His dark brown skinned dad, with swelled face, after the radical neck dissection for his mouth cancer, was sleeping peacefully under morphine. He became calm and peaceful. Or did he? That's when reality struck him. So, thank you guys.
I really liked, the way that it starts out really wholesome. It's like this kid, he's cuddling up to his dad. Then, like, you slowly kind of start seeping in the horror. And then, like, it just escalates from there. So
Thank you.
Okay, who's next? Niladri would want to go next.
I'll go.
Okay.
So I didn't really have a story. I just sat down in the afternoon, wrote something. It's titled Waviness. So, and again, please pardon my voice. It's croaky today because my throat's aching. I ate meat for dinner. I don't know why I did that. I have been a vegetarian all my life, repulsed at even the thought of having meat. And yet, I savored the juicy chunk on my plate, devoured it with a glass of red wine. That didn't exactly taste like wine. It tasted sweeter, better. I felt strong from within, powerful, but at the same time, exhausted. I needed to rest. Going into my room, I didn't bother to turn on the lights. I could see everything clearly in the dark. It was also different from usual. I went up to the mirror and looked at myself. But it wasn't really me that I was looking at. My skin had become deathly white, my pupils red, and my teeth were protruding in a ghastly grimace through drooling black lips. I heard footsteps outside and, feeling hungry again, leapt out of my fourth floor window for my midnight snack. Another chunk of human flesh and a glass of blood.
Yeah,
The
just somehow
moment I heard meat and red wine, I knew it's going to end with human flesh and blood.
Absolutely.
Did not disappoint.
Niladri, somehow your get up and your story narration matches.
It does, right?
It's just not Halloween without at least one vampire. Fantastic.
Yes, you nailed it, Lee.
Guys,
Yeah.
we had an entry by Dr. Manjushri Gopinath. She couldn't attend, but I'd really like to narrate her story. So yeah. So this is from her. She was caught up in some festivities, so she couldn't attend. Okay, so here goes her story. I must tell you, the musical sound of your anklets' bells kept me so pleasantly distracted. He laughed, admiring her in the shadows. You heard them. Not many people do, she said shyly. The notes are unique. Will you show me your ghungroos? Ghungroos? Yes. Ankles? No, they're not as pretty, she said, nodding. Please, I'm sure everything about you is beautiful. If you insist, she whispered. He leaned forward, all the better to see her face. She lifted her skirts a few tantalizing inches, revealing a pair of perfectly shaped feet, turned sharply backwards at her ankles, heels front, bloody toes backwards. He jerked up, looking into her face. She smiled her special smile, sending his now dead glassy orbs silvery. She plucked them out and added them to her anklets. Her pretty little musical anklets, making the music of the dead heard only by the damned.
That was scary. I think narration made it better.
Classy, and I think she did a really good job.
Also, we have a story from Pushan that I would like to narrate because he couldn't make it because he was.
I'd just like to say on that last story, it serves the guy right for being such a pervert. Can I see your ankles? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, this is why you shouldn't hit on strangers that you don't know very well. Like, maybe just think twice. But yeah, I love that story. I actually read it when Manjushri wrote it, and it's so good. And the way you narrated it, Chitra, was like really.
Okay. Next, we have a poem by Tanya Sharma. She also couldn't attend, but she participated in our Halloween contest. So a short, cute little poem about Halloween. I was standing in the graveyard with the goblins, ghosts, and skeletons too, under the full moon night, waiting for you. All the witches, wizards, and skeletons are coming soon, so that we can celebrate together the Halloween moon. All the graves are coming out of tombstone. Zombies are dancing, and cadavers are also shaking bones. A bloody, marvelous night no one had ever seen. It's the time of October and the cold, spooky night of Halloween.
Nice.
Oh, cute little poem.
Yeah, that's really cute.
Okay, let's have a story by Pushan. So he submitted it, but he couldn't make it. So it's called Guardian. He awoke to the huge insect-like creatures looming over his bed and screamed his lungs out. They hastily left the room and he stayed up all night, shaking and wondering if it had been a dream. The next morning there was a tap on the door. Gathering his courage, he opened to see one of them gently place a plate filled with fried breakfast on the floor, then retreat to a safe distance. Bewildered, he accepted the gift. The creatures chittered excitedly. This happened every day, for weeks. At first, he was worried they were fattening him, but after a particularly greasy breakfast left him clutching his chest from heartburn, the food was replaced with fresh fruit. As well as, apart from cooking, they poured hot steamy baths for him and even tucked him in when he went to bed. It felt truly bizarre. One night, he woke up to gunshots and screaming. He raced downstairs to find the decapitated burglar being devoured by the insects. He was sick, but disposed of the remains as best as he could. He knew they had just been protecting him. One morning, the creatures wouldn't let him leave his room. He lay down, confused, but trusting, as they ushered him back into bed. Whatever their motives, they weren't going to hurt him. Hours later, a burning pain spread throughout his body. It felt like his stomach was filled with razor wires. The insects chittered as he spasmed and moaned. It was only then he felt a terrible squirming feeling beneath his skin that he realized the insects hadn't been protecting him. They had been protecting their young.
Oh,
I
love
The way it ended.
really
Very
good.
interesting.
Really
Very
good.
interesting.
Next.
I thought, sorry, yeah, about that last one. I thought he was going to turn into an insect, and I was like, this is clearly the prequel to Kafka's Metamorphosis. But it turned out, no, he's just a broodmare. That's even more disturbing.
No, actually, what I find scarier is the prospect of these insects hatching out of him. I could like imagine that. I was like, ah.
Oh yes, that's one of my favorites. Things growing out of your skin.
Absolutely.
Delicious.
Like, remember the scene from Mummy when the beetles like get into him and they like move around his body?
Yeah, that gives me the nightmare till today.
I swear.
There was a
The
very
most scarring scenes of my life.
there's a very cute little movie called The Fly. It came out in the 80s. If anyone has seen that, stars Jeff Goldblum. It's a really nice.
I've
cute
seen
movie.
it.
Yes,
I've seen it. It
really
comes in the
cute
science
movie.
fiction genre.
Yeah.
I think Alien takes the cake in science fiction. When that thing bursts out of his stomach, it's amazing.
Yeah, that.
Oh
Alien
yeah,
does
yeah.
take the cake.
Yeah.
That one too. Yeah.
And if you don't want to be grossed out and you want to watch a nice family movie, please go and watch The First Candy.
Repeat, which one?
The First Candyman, the old one.
Okay.
That's gross too.
Evil Dead, guys burst and cockroaches and stuff come out of their body. It's like some 80s movies. It's called The Evil Dead, and in the climax, people burst and cockroaches and centipedes come out of them.
Scariest was the words.
It was not scary. It was grossing out me.
Anand has decided to join his buggy. Let's see. Okay. Let him just join in and we'll see hello and then Preeti can begin the narration. I
Is
didn't
anyone left
like
with the narration?
I had begun on so many tales and then I left them halfway and I was like, Niladri, I have not written anything. And then just before this meeting, I wrote something in like 5 minutes. It's kind of funny. So we'll just see if I can narrate it well because I haven't edited it at all. There's just some scribbles here. Look at that. So I don't know if I'll be able to narrate it properly.
Well, mine was not edited either. I just wrote it and I fell off to sleep. I woke up, put on my
Y'all,
makeup.
you are an editor. You don't need to edit it. You edit as you go along. And Anand sir, can you hear
That's
us?
a wrong notion.
Anand sir, can you hear us? Can you see us? I don't know whether he's able to see us or not, but let's continue with Preeti. Oh, okay. He has just responded. He's able to hear. So, okay, Preeti.
I'm distracted by
Pretty.
Okay. So this again is scribble, which I just scribbled, and I told Niladri that I'm just going to listen in today and not tell y'all. But yeah, this is something which happened to me recently in Jodhpur when I went to research again on my queen, the subject of my book. So this is not a story, it's an incident which I try to over dramatize or melodramatize like my husband tells me. So too much drama. Okay, so I need to tell you all that this place, the stepwell of this queen, is a place I have spent months, weeks, years in. I know each and every corner, each and every step. I have gone in, out. I know the secret passages. I was not allowed in, of course, but yes, I know it inside out, but and never have I been afraid of the place. The locals would tell me, come out of it. In 2015, when I went there for the first time, don't go in after dark. It's dangerous. You can slip, you can fall. And that was the only danger. Otherwise, there were some people who said, there's ghost there. What are you doing inside? Come out. But then there's nothing which really scared me. In 2021, after many years of researching about this wonderful queen and making a promise to her in my heart that, yes, I'll clear her name, I'll set things right. And I've still not been able to do that. I went there. I went there because her name is about to be wiped off. Her memory is about to be erased by people who don't want her name there. I went at 8:30 in the night. I walked from my hotel towards the step well. 8:30 is not a time a city goes to sleep. One sec, I'll just remove this. I've scared Dr. Anand enough. Okay. So 8:30 is not a time any city goes to sleep, but Jodhpur was about to sleep. The drug peddlers in the chaatwalas had come out in the open, and they were dealing in the open. And I went on walking. There were people around, but I had this sort of fear for the first time. It was a very weird feeling. I don't know whether it was fear or anxiety or what, but I went walking towards the step well. Every step I walked towards it, there was, my heart started beating faster and faster and faster. And till the time I was only about 5 meters away, there was a group of pups. They were playing there. This whole pack of little pups just playing with something. All of a sudden, all of them came charged towards me when I was just 2 feet away from the boundary wall. And I could see the step well. For the first time, I was afraid. The water had come up to the second level of chhatris in the step well. And the waters looked angry. I realized what I felt. I felt despair, I felt disappointment, I felt anger, I felt frustration, and I felt sadness. Most of all, I felt a very weird desperation. And I didn't know, but I was walking towards the well, just walking and walking. The waters were rising and rising. I knew it. They were below the chajja. They had come up towards the dome and they were rising, and I was walking just near the gate. These pups charged at me. Ever since I have had my Zoya, who's my dog, dogs are good with me. They never bark at me. They do nothing to me. But these pups, these 4 pups, they charged. And they barked till I broke out of my reverie and I realized I was just about to step into the well. And they pushed me back. All of them pushed me back. And I went back. And that's when I realized that, yes, there's something very scary. And I better finish my story, my novel. Next.
Okay, so Preeti is writing a ghostly story. So I think that the setting was quite unique, something that's there in a novel as well. Preeti?
Yeah. So this was.
I've had spooky experiences with Preeti's novel. I've been beta reading it and.
Yeah. I did tell you, I did get the smell of roses there once I stepped back.
You did?
Preeti is a thriller writer, no? Preeti is a thriller writer.
Yep.
So it's an incident. It's not a story. That this happened just a month and a half ago.
Really?
September. Yeah.
When you visited that place?
So yes, that's when this happened.
So this is called true research. She went to that
Yes.
place. I mean, she's been writing stories in and around Jodhpur for her novel, and that the ghost is actually, believed to be there. So, so I don't know. I had warned Preeti, like we've all been having a little bit of spooky experiences with a novel, and I was like, I'm worried about you, girl.
So I was just thinking about that activity when she was narrating.
Can I add something? You're worried
Yes.
about her. I am editing that book and I live alone. Preeti lives with 6 people in a house. She can go to some other room and sleep with someone else. No problem. I live here alone.
The way I felt that the way she was narrating the story, it all looked real. So I felt that she was just sharing her own experience.
I was sharing my own experience. It was,
That's what you said now. Yeah, that's what, like, I mean, you're not reading it out from anywhere. Like,
no. I just made pointers so that I don't miss out anything, but I still missed. Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain things in life, I think,
Yes.
which are dark.
Really
Like, you have
scary,
to,
yes.
yeah.
It's true. Very true.
Okay, Chitra.
Okay, let me try this one. I am not able to read my own handwriting. What the hell am I doing? I'll try.
Welcome to my world, Chitra.
Welcome to our world.
I relate.
I usually type my stuff out very systematically, edit it properly, and then I narrate. This is like I can't read my own handwriting. Okay, so let's try. This is not my usual style.
And this is contagious. It's come from me. I'm telling you.
Yes, it has come from me because my handwriting is really beautiful, and your handwriting looks like some cat has scratched her way through pages.
My handwriting is a cross between Egyptian hieroglyphics and a doctor's prescription. You put them together, you get my handwriting.
You cannot ever write love letters. Period. Okay, let's see. Okay,
I can. MS Word.
You can type them out. Yeah. Okay, so this is called The Party.
Because nothing says passion like a typed love letter.
True. Absolutely true.
Absolutely true. Okay. Why do couples who mad at each other go to parties? I mean, you've been arguing. Leave the rest of the world alone. Same things happened to me. Arak and me, let's say we've just hit a rough patch lately, and yet we've come to this party. And that's when I notice her, his ex. I will not tolerate this anymore. That bitch has been eyeing you ever since we got here. I sputtered angrily. She's not a bitch, she's a witch, he quipped, my darling husband. Go on, take a side. I'll find myself someone more charming. Good luck with that, he said with a lopsided smile. He snapped his fingers and a green flame danced on his fingertips. With his dark eyes that resembled deep pits of hell, his gorgeous blue-gray, ashen, flaky skin, he stood out and he knew it, that cocky bastard. I had no idea when I went from wanting to fight with him to wanting to fuck him. I moved around trying to flirt. Pickled brains? A ghoul asked me. No, thank you, I had them for breakfast. His smile dropped. My lady, an Egyptian king approached me, his bloody robes twinkling, and I noticed my husband's smile drop from a distance. Ah, royalty. I was about to offer him my hand when I noticed that witch near my husband, running her fingernails up and down his arm. I let out a frustrated screech and flew over to them and emptied a glass of fine, freshly preserved blood onto her robes. Ah, my dress, she screeched. She muttered an incantation and I yelped in pain as my arms were scarred by her sunshine spell. Ah, you should not have done that, miss, my husband quipped, and she barely had time to whimper before I slashed open her throat with my fangs, gouged out her eyes, and ripped out her heart with my fingernails. I strode over to my husband, swaying my hips with her heart in my hands, batted my eyelashes, licked the blood, and said, "Dessert?" He leaned over to me, looked at me for a moment, and whispered, "You're riding me tonight." He wrapped his cloak around us and we vanished into our sweet bliss.
Wow. The things that turned him on.
Wow.
Boys.
That was weird.
I am confused what to feel.
Yeah, I know. I think Lee said it best earlier. Sexy, scary is awesome, and that's what it was pretty much.
Dr. Alexander is really turned on right now, isn't he?
Okay. Anand, sir, you have a spooky tale to narrate? Can you hear us? Anand, sir? Would you be narrating?
He's only on chat.
Okay, tough to narrate. Tough to narrate. But you have some real life spooky tales. Okay. Okay. Would you be narrating, sir? So he has real stories, strange cases of death. Would you be sharing them with us today? Okay, okay. We'll give him 5 minutes.
You
And
know
in the
that
meantime-
ritual?
Sorry?
You know that ritual where a group of people gather around something and then try to speak to the dead? This felt oddly like that.
Do you mean the French?
I mean a seance.
A seance?
Yes,
he had, he had asked me to narrate this one. Something Wicked This Way comes by Ray Bradbury. Do you want to do it yourself? Lee, would you like? No. What about Ruth? No. Okay. Okay, let me just narrate this one because it's Lee's one of his all-time favorites. So let's hear this one. This is really, I mean, keeping in theme with the Halloween ones. Crystal water turns to dark. The air, its presence leaves its mark, and boiling currents pound like drums when something wicked this way comes. A presence dark invades the fair and gives the horses ample scare. Chaos reigns and panic fills the air when something wicked this way comes. Ill winds mark its fearsome flight, and autumn branches creak with fright. The landscape turns into ashen crumbs when something wicked this way comes. Flowers bloom as black as night, removing color from your sight. Nightmarish vines block your way. Thorns reach out to catch their prey, and by the pricking of your thumbs, realize that the poison numbs. From frightful blooms rank odors seep. Bats and beasties fly and creep. Across this evil land, ill winds blow. Despite the darkness, mushrooms glow. All will rot and decompose, or something wicked this way grows. Thank you, Lee, for the fantastic poem. Really liked it.
Yeah, it's really nice. Narration was good too, but Chitra's narration is always nice.
I smell something burning, Suman is jealous.
Me? Excuse me? No, not of Chitra. I'm not jealous. She's nice. I'm inspired actually.
Suman's narrations are so nice. Ryan, come on.
I wouldn't know because I never like to go back and see myself. Like I'm so embarrassed to look at myself, you know, on screen. So I don't know. I mean, I'll take your word for it, I guess. Thank you.
Oh, you can take my word for it, Suman. I go back and I stare at you for hours.
But that wasn't scary at all.
Okay, this got creepy.
Nam was
real
given
quick.
us a link while we are waiting for answer. Could you just narrate it, Nam, for us?
It's good for like narrating it. It's pretty much like a little novella, I think, of a poem.
Oh,
But-
okay. So, okay, fine.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize. I thought we were just sharing. I didn't think that this was time to narrate stuff.
It's really long.
Yeah, it's quite long.
Oh my gosh, that's really long. Oh my god.
Maybe she can narrate the first stanza or something.
Yeah. Maybe a favorite.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I'll just start whenever, I guess. So this is called Goblin Market by Christina Rossetti, and this is how it goes. Morning and evening maids herds the goblins cry, come buy our orchard fruits, come buy, come buy. Apples and quinces, lemons and oranges, plump unpecked cherries, melons and raspberries, bloom down cheek peaches, swart-headed mulberries, wild freeborn cranberries, crab apples, dewberries, pineapples, blackberries, apricots, strawberries, all ripe together in summer weather. Morns that pass by, fair eves that fly, come buy, come buy. Our grapes, fresh from the wine, pomegranates full and fine, dates and sharp bullaces, rare pears and greengages, damsons and bilberries, taste them and try. Currants and gooseberries, bright firelight barberries, figs to fill your mouth, citrons from the south, sweet to tongue and sound to eye, come buy, come buy. Evening by evening, along the brookside rushes. Laura bowed her head to healing weather, with clasping arms and cautioning lips, with tingling cheeks and fingertips. Lie close, Laura said, pricking up her golden head. We must not look at goblin men, we must not buy their fruits. Who knows upon what soil they fed their hungry, thirsty roots? Come by, called the goblins, hobbling down the glen. Should I stop or keep going?
Stop repeating, actually.
Keep going.
Yeah, it's a really
all
good
night
story.
forever.
We could take turns narrating it if somebody wants to do another verse, because we're waiting for
that's a good idea.
somebody. Yeah.
But someone else can pick it up if somebody wants to. Otherwise, Nam can go ahead and
Niladri,
oh,
I was just talking about that story, right, which is very similar to the one which Suman wrote. I believe it's not that long. Is it fine if I can narrate it? Yeah?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go for it. No problem.
Fine.
Right.
All right. So this is, the story name is Nightmare. Okay, so here I go. It was there somewhere on my laptop. I just opened it. Just give me a minute. Yeah. I opened my eyes to see a stranger standing beside my bed. He was tall and hefty. I'd never seen him before. His face had a rugged look, reflecting the pain and agony he would have gone through in his lifetime. Who are you? And what are you doing here? I asked, looking at him. Still lying on my bed of the double occupancy hostel room of my college. I was wondering how the warden had allowed him so late in these unearthly hours. I came to help your friend. It was a hoarse voice. And pardon my voice, he continued. I cannot speak better than this due to the metal that always pokes me on my back and hurts my windpipe. As he uttered these words, my friend appeared from behind, standing right next to him. His smiling face took pale. I could still see the injury marks of cable wire on his neck. My friend said with a husky voice, "He's my uncle, who I always missed. I told you, right? I finally found him." Still not able to connect what had conspired, I peeked across the room on my friend's bed. The bed was empty. My friend had possibly searched his uncle, about whom he always talked about so fondly. "So how is it that you both are here at this time?" I stuttered, rubbing my eyes as I was still half asleep. I was now looking at his well-built uncle. "I will not spare the one who did this to him," came the hoarse voice of his uncle, who held my friend with one hand and pointed at the deep wounds on his neck. He was constantly looking at me to check if the message was sinking deep into me. "We don't have much time. I need to meet the dean and settle the score for once and for all," my friend's uncle said loudly as ever. He then turned around along with my friend. That's when I saw a dagger stab deeply into his uncle's upper part of the spine, while my friend's neckline showed deep cuts and wounds that one could not possibly survive from. They both gradually faded away through the wall of my room. I suddenly got up from my sleep and looked all around. The front door was locked, but my friend's bed was empty. I missed him ever so much since the last evening. The last I saw him was when he was going to meet the dean of the college due to his low grades. A few minutes later, there was hue and cry outside my room. The warden and the teachers were shouting along with some of the students. "The dean is no more," was one of the voices I could hear. But another person shouted with fear in his voice, "You must have seen the way he was lying on the floor. His body was mutilated, while his back was totally broken. There was no one in his room." Another voice frantically shouted, "Exorcism, spirits! This was bound to happen. He played with the life of the students. He met his fate." He locked side cupboard door in my room. The locked side cupboard door in my room creaked slightly, while there was a gentle knock on my door, probably giving me a message. I could not sleep the rest of the night. I lay wide awake due to all that happened and the ongoing commotion across the college premises. The next morning, I hesitantly walked towards the canteen to make my breakfast, still feeling sleepy. There was a big gathering outside the dean's house. Surprisingly, I also saw a huge crowd gather around the canteen. The cops had sealed these areas. From a distance, I could see my friend being removed from the rope tied to the ceiling fan of our canteen, and everyone guessed the obvious. While the cases were instantly closed after police met the dean's family privately in the office room, I realized that the revenge was taken and the mission accomplished. I could sense that my friend could now come out of his suffocation and we all could leave the mortal realm peacefully. For now, there was no reason for us to return to our college hostel room. I was also free from the nightmare. However, our hostel room was permanently sealed by the college authorities. Thank you.
Okay, so he was dead too.
That sounds like one of those urban legends that kind of crop up, especially in like colleges and stuff. So that was really nice.
Thank you. So you could connect, right, Suman? I was thinking of reading this one first.
Oh, you should have. Then we would have been twins again, like the last time. The first time, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the first time. I agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Thank you, Sambit, for this.
Thank
Anantha,
you,
are you
Chitra.
ready? Okay, I think we might not have the proper environment to narrate today, but that's okay. We'll listen to him some other time. And so thank you everyone for joining in. This was awesome. I had a blast. Did you enjoy yourself, Lee? Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves and awesome costumes, everyone. And so I hope we'll have many more such meetings in future. We always have these community meets and they are always themed meets. So we have narrations, based on particular themes, and we'll be having more such events in future. Thank you so much for joining in. And if you're watching this, please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please share this video so that more people can get spooked out. Okay then, guys. Good night.
Like, share, subscribe.
Hold on.
Okay, can I just say one final thing?
Yes, please do.
I've been mean to Suman all night, so I kind of feel the need to make it up to her. So Suman, I believe the PB in PB flower stands for pristinely beautiful.
Aww.
Thank you. You made it up to me. Thank you.
I always thought it was peanut butter.
That's what my daughter says.
That would have been better. That would have been better.
You're washing it off. You're washing it off, Chandrayan. Now stop.
Okay, with that, thank you again. Good night. Great time today. Happy Halloween. Bye-bye.
Good night.